We're live.
Hello.
Intro
Another
music,
video.
go!
You want to secure your assets.
We can crack the wallet.
Oh, we've done it before.
We've got rigs, character adversary, attribution mode.
with our private keys combined.
Building some kind of blockchain super weapon.
There's just a number of vulnerabilities that are in the smart contracts.
Math. It's probably secure.
They all secretly mine cryptocurrency.
What coin can I trust? Which one is cryptographically secure?
Don't roll your own crypto. CoinSec Podcast.
Boom.
Welcome to the
Oh.
CoinSec Podcast. First one of the new year, 2022. We're here, guys.
All right,
Welcome.
51. Wow, we're over the
Episode
hill.
51.
And
I
then
know.
We're over the hill.
We're going to make our slow march towards 100 this year. It's going to
That's right.
happen.
We're gonna do it.
Ooh,
We're gonna do it. How many weeks are there in a year? I think we can do it.
Yeah, as long as we can all like survive. I don't know, like the market's not doing so great this first week of the year, man. It's slow burn.
bounce.
This is normal. This is
It's
just how
just
it
a
works.
discount. They're running a sale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the early New Year's Day sale, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the Black Friday that never ends.
So what's funny though is like, so the thing that I was telling Steve about that I noticed is that like a lot of the cryptocurrencies are like kind of dwindling and they're just kind of like just being, kind of a slow like drop in price. But the thing that's surprised me is honestly like NFT markets have been like kind of exploding, which is like bizarre. Like I don't know why.
It's all over the news.
Yeah. It's weird.
I feel like it's just people selling the NFTs to themselves to pump up the prices. Am I wrong?
Well, we've seen that once, at least, right?
I feel like it's a common, like it's like the thing to do if you're trying to amp up your NFT is just to sell it to yourself. Or I mean, not yourself. Totally use a
Right.
different wallet.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely weird. But I don't know. We'll see how things play out over the next year or so. We're gonna keep an eye on it, and I'm sure just like last year, we had a ton of hacks and crazy scams happening. We're gonna have the same stuff, probably even more this year. And actually, our first story kind of shows how that kind of exponential nature of hacks has been happening over the last year. So our first story for episode 51. $14 billion in crypto stolen in 2021. So this was a study done by Chainalysis. And basically they went through and tried to identify a lot of the different crypto-related crimes that have happened over 2021. A lot of the same stuff that we talked about, right, over the last year of episodes. And in terms of like on the screen here, we see like money laundering, ransomware, scams, stolen funds. And so apparently that all equals up to around $14 billion. So
That's a lot. And I
think we should, yeah.
$2.
I think we should bring the cryptocurrency crime onto the Fortune 500 since it's such a profitable entity.
Okay, so how's this compare, I wonder, then, to the respective markets of each one of these like charts? So let's talk about scams.
Yeah, so Ryan, bring up that bar graph of all the different markets he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so like scams and terrorism financing, things like that. How much of
The
that
biggest one is
like
scams,
fiat?
yeah.
How much of that is like real money, right? Versus, well, not real money. Bitcoin is real money, right?
You're
all
saying
fake.
how many Google Play gift cards get sent to offshore every year? Probably a lot more. Probably a lot more than $5 billion. I don't know. Or like wire fraud. Yeah, I don't know. What is
Because
scams?
a lot of people talk about cryptocurrency being the reason behind a lot of these, and so for things like ransomware, certainly because it's made it easier, but we still have like business email compromise where people are getting the target entities to sign over invoices, things like that. So a lot of this stuff does play into other markets. I'm just wondering about the market share, because everybody says, oh, crypto's is bad because of all the people laundering money and stuff like that, but what does that really mean? How does that compare to people laundering cash?
So how much did they actually say it was for scams? go back to the graph? What it was? So okay,
Scams was let's see.
it's like
It was a
2.5
lot.
billion.
It was a lot, yeah.
So according to just a quick Google, it says that the FTC shows that consumers lost 148 million in scams, and so crypto was 2.5 billion. So basically, I mean, although I don't know, it does say Americans lost 29 billion to phone scams over the past year. So there's a lot of different numbers all over the place.
Sure.
But I guess I would say it's big, but I do think it's only a part of the scam market, right?
Mhm.
Because there is still a lot of quote unquote traditional scamming, like, "Hi, I'm the CEO. You need to wire money to this address. Don't question it."
Certainly. Yeah, but it is interesting how prevalent this is, and I think maybe since COVID and lockdowns, maybe it's even more prevalent because people are sitting at home and hacking, and I don't know. Maybe there's more of that going on because of it. I don't know.
Honestly, what I feel like it probably is the most is that the calculation of US dollars is just all over the place because of the value of the cryptocurrencies also being all over the place. It's like, okay, you stole 1 Bitcoin. Well, at the beginning of the year, that wasn't that big of a deal, but at the end of the year, that was 6 times or whatever, 5 times, however much it was. So it's like, I feel like if you're just calculating into US dollars, it's just an inflation of the overall market, and that's why it looks such a huge number. But
Right. Makes sense.
who knows how they calculate it? It's a cool report either way. Definitely take a look at it if you have the time.
Yeah, and I think from our point of view, like what we talk about a lot on the show is exploits with smart contracts and various. I mean, we do talk about some scams here and there too. I think like we tend to focus more, well, kind of like equally, I think, across both the like enterprise side on the the exploit side of things, and also the scams for the consumer side. And this report kind of ties both of those together, which I think is really cool to see. One of the things that they talked about is like the difference in numbers from last year, which I thought was kind of neat. So cryptocurrency theft rose 516% from 2020 to $3.2 billion worth of cryptocurrency. Of this total, 72% of stolen funds were taken from DeFi protocols. So it was a huge jump from last year.
Yeah, and I think part of that is due to the fact that we've got so many more DeFi protocols now, right? We've got Ethereum, and then everybody wanted to be, ERC20 compliant and have all their tokens and pools and everything out there. And then things like Binance Smart Chain came, and Avalanche, and all these other Polkadot and different platforms, right? So that opens up the market share to scams and things like that. So
it'd be an interesting comparison that I don't know if like how hard this would be to go and do, but something that might be interesting is to go and compare like current day like ETH prices and like how much ETH was stolen in terms of various DeFi scams. Like if you compared like just that specific cryptocurrency to like 2017 ICO days. And like go back and look and see like how much ETH at the time, because obviously like we've had more people coming into cryptocurrency markets, we've had more people have interest, so like the USD number has gone up a lot, but I'm curious like if you put it side by side with like the number of like Ethereum.
Sure, yeah, that's interesting.
I think it's also I was going to say it's also surprising to me that the darknet markets were such a huge chunk, way bigger than ransomware. Like I would have expected. I mean, we talk about ransomware so much, obviously, that kind of like it shows a bias on our part that we're like. But if you look at the economics of it, darknet markets and scams are like 80%. Like terrorism was one thing they listed, or terrorism financing. It was like not even on the chart. It's like such a tiny amount. Like I guess someone's like, "Hey, here's like 2 ETH. Go start a terror." I don't know. Like, but yeah, it's just interesting. Like the darknet markets are still huge. That's like a multi-billion-dollar thing now. But
I think you're right, though. I think depending on when they took the numbers into account is definitely playing into like that total number. Like, is it that it's just through the entire year of 2021, this is the total number of ETH that was stolen, and now that's worth 8 point whatever billion, or is it like as things were happening, that point in time price,
Yeah, I mean it's definitely interesting, but basically darknet markets. I guess got to get your fix. People are buying acid or whatever. I don't know. I just wonder, like, I don't know, what are people buying on darknet markets to account for like $2 billion? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of drugs.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if it's. I feel like it's mostly drugs, right? That's
It's
like
all
once you're
that's the only thing it could be.
Or
once you're addicted,
software.
they're buying WinRare licenses, $2 billion, bro.
They're buying 0 days for various pieces of software.
Honestly, that
WinRAR
could be a
doesn't even take Bitcoin.
Log4j exploits.
That's
yeah,
it.
no, that you're right. Exploits could be a big part of it, or like stolen accounts, stolen data, all that kind of stuff is on darknet markets. That's I just think of drugs because people get hooked and they're like, it becomes a thing where you can't.
And then you
stop
start
buying.
hiring hitman and
No, that's if you're running. See, you're confused. That's if you're running darknet markets, not if you're buying from them.
I heard drug dealers only take crypto now. No more dollars. They just got rid of it. No. What? Nobody
specifically Shiba Inu coin.
Yeah. Only.
That's the only one.
Only like the most worthless coins they take, right? So just like, meme coins of the day.
All right, moving on, guys. All right, so last time we got together, so this would have been the last episode of 2021. We talked about an interesting story around Polygon where they actually patched a vulnerability, but it was a silent patch. Like nobody knew what was going on, and last week last episode we were kind of speculating around. Well, this is probably something pretty critical, and it turned out it actually is really, really critical. It could have actually destroyed Polygon. So last time we spoke, we were talking about how they basically hard forked into like a closed source version of their software to fix this vulnerability, and now more details have come out surrounding that particular case, and basically Polygon could have almost lost all of its Matic tokens worth $24 billion if this specific bug had gone unnoticed. So a white hat reported a vulnerability to Polygon. The bug essentially could have allowed attackers to arbitrarily mint all of Polygon's 9.2 billion Matic tokens from its MRC20 contract. So this was a smart contract issue. So gasless Matic transfers are facilitated by this transfer with SIG function. And the user who owns the token signs a bundle of parameters, including the operator, amount, nonce, and expiration. The signature can be later passed to the MRC20 contract by the operator to perform a transfer on behalf of the token owner. This is a gasless for the token owner because the operator pays for the gas. The main issue is that the transfer from will call the transfer function directly without checking whether the from has enough balance. And basically they found that they could call that transfer with SIG without a valid signature. Thanks to a lack of a check to see if EC recovery returns the 0 address. So basically, Polygon patched this, and they just removed the transfer with SIG function altogether.
Yeah, we don't need that.
So
Yep.
wait, 500,000 Matic, 3.46 million as a bounty.
So no. So check us out. So this is where it gets really interesting. Okay, so first off, an initial white hat reported this vulnerability to Immunify. So Immunify is the bug bounty program that Polygon uses. And Polygon's bug bounty was $2 million. Okay, so $2 million for critical stuff. Polygon confirmed the vulnerability. They were, working on a patch, and a second quote unquote white hat. This is we'll talk more about, why I say like kind of quote unquote here white hat. Found it as well and reported it separately. So somebody else decided that they wanted to try to, report this vulnerability as well. They also confirmed that, to that second white hat, they were like, okay, well, we don't, normally we would only allow, the $2 million to be paid to the initial guy, but we're going to let you, keep 500,000 Matic, which is over $1 million. But the thing that's interesting to me is what they ended up doing, and this is part of like why it was like silently patched, and the reason that we were kind of speculating, is during their initial process of deploying it to testnet. So they deployed this fix at testnet. Somebody else saw that happening and actually exploited this issue and legit stole like 800,000 Matic. So somebody was watching the testnet basically, and they saw that this patch was getting pushed out. They analyzed it, took it, and then went and ran with it, and actually stole 800,000 Matic before it actually got patched on the mainnet. So even though we saw this like silent patching happen, it still ended up getting exploited. But it is patched now. But yeah, so it's interesting, like so coming back to like why I said like kind of quote unquote, second white hat. We saw some conversation on Twitter around this, and started digging into it a little bit. And one of the things that's kind of interesting is that second white hat, they actually exploited this issue 5 times to pull out. It was like 5 million Matic, I think, was the number. So they exploited it 5 times. Like the question is why exploit it 5 times? To prove a point, right? If you're a white hat, why go in and do the exact same attack 5 times, pull out 5 million Matic, if it's not some sort of like extortion kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's like, how many times do I need to exploit this server to prove that it's exploitable, right?
Exactly.
Once
Basically, accidental for loop, or he just didn't realize it was actually working, and then he, pooped himself when he realized,
that could be too, I guess, right? Yeah,
I don't know how you write code, but I run it at least 5 times before I check if it worked.
Well, so I mean, if you combine that with the fact that they let the hacker keep 500,000 Matic, right? I don't know, just to me, like, and there's not a whole lot of details around it. To me, it's like, well, you already have an official statement, right? That you're going to pay $2 million in bug bounty. Somebody found that bug already. Like, why not just say, oh, somebody else found that already, give us our money back? You know what I mean? Like, it just it seems kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's probably a precedence thing. They want to show that they'll reward people that, because the guy could have taken more, right? Or I don't know.
Shouldn't there be a better way? I mean, I know there is, but shouldn't, as a white hat, you be not running it directly on the main network, or is that
There's no
not
test
how we do
networks
things anymore?
No, they got rid of all of them.
Well, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Typically, if you're that depends, all right, because you have to have the contract, which in this case they could, but compile it and run it in your own, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it just
I
seems
agree.
like the other
Or
person
do you
told
miss out on the
somebody.
dependencies? Yeah, it does sound like that a little
Well,
bit.
and so like if you guys remember the last time we talked about Polygon Network and the big $600 million that was stolen. Remember that?
Mhm.
During that case, the whole idea of doing exactly what you just said was brought up, and talking about how difficult it actually would have been to deploy
Sure.
that entire network, right? Like it's not a simple thing by any means. It's not just like taking a single contract for like a DeFi protocol. It's like
Right,
you're
because
talking
there's
about
dependencies, right? Contracts
Yeah.
on contracts, and
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that testing it in production is probably somewhat legitimate, but doing it 5 times and stealing a huge amount instead of stealing like 5, you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know.
or like prove it. You can steal 1 Matic. Why do you need to go? You definitely have some malicious intent there if you're dumping 500,000 of them. I don't know. It just seems like overkill to me for a white
Mhm.
hat.
In the crypto space, a white hat can steal 5, however much that would be, $100 million, and they're like still a white hat. Meanwhile, in cybersecurity, yeah.
So the other thing that it's a problem, and the reason why that shouldn't happen is it honestly is watched by a lot of people. Like a lot of people watch for those large transactions, and the second something happens like that, it becomes news, right? And
They
that
panic, yeah.
Well, and that will attract more attention to it, right? So that brings in other eyes to come and say, oh, somebody just stole 500, or 10 million Matic or whatever it was, right? 5 million Matic. And like, so there must be an issue. Let's go find it too. Like instead of like if somebody just stole 1 Matic, right?
Mhm.
Nobody's gonna like raise a huge like tweet storm about it. You know what I'm saying? And you can still prove the point, right? So if you're a white hat out there, and you're actually finding these things, like there's no reason to go over the edge and take millions and millions of dollars from anything to prove a point. Like you can actually prove a point with like a single token or whatever.
Yeah,
maybe they were worried they wouldn't pay the bounty. I don't know. It seems.
I think it's at least partially extortion.
That's it right there, right? Yeah. So like then we're getting into that extortion game, right? Like if you're truly like wanting to help, then I don't know.
Basically, that white hat is looking a little grayish, darkish. Maybe it's a heather gray. It's not truly a white hat.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that's it's interesting to see, kind of what came of that story. Like after we kind of speculated last week, we were right. Totally a critical issue. So yeah. All right, moving on. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what happened to the Matic price after that? It's down like everything else. All right. Anyways,
everything else. Yeah.
It is funny when you're paying people out in a currency that's also going to tank when the news releases.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like to them it's probably cheap because they're like, oh, it's fine. These Matics are going to be worth nothing in like 10 days. Here, take as many as you need. No, I'm just kidding.
That's pretty.
All right. So moving on. All right. So next story. So Steve, this is one is in your wheelhouse, man. Norton Anti-virus mining crypto. This has been on Twitter, kind of causing up a storm. And actually, this has been something that has been thrown around for a while now. Like it didn't just come up. I remember seeing this like maybe a year or so ago that they were going to do this.
This is confirmation. This is confirmation. We've all known it. We've all known it for years, but Norton is actually malware. And now it's truly really malware.
I thought you were going to say this is confirmation we're at the top, and like this is just downhill from here.
This is confirmation that we live in the Matrix. It's all a simulation. It has to be. Yeah. This is too ridiculous.
So the thing that gets me is, okay, cool. Like you can opt into it, great. But they're taking 15%. I mean, you could totally do this on your own and maybe pay a 1% mining fee to a pool or something like that, or 0 in some cases. So, I mean, I don't know why they go together. Maybe they should have released a Norton crypto miner as a separate product, but to have it in your antivirus, I'm wondering if I could use this in any nefarious way, right? If I'm a red teamer or an adversary and I'm hacking into a network and I see they have Norton Antivirus installed, can I modify that, turn it on, and make all the computers in the organization mine something for me? Right?
A group policy.
Yeah, a group policy. Mine to this Bitcoin address.
I mean, Steve, you're missing the true point, which is that you should write a free antivirus product.
Yeah, right.
I mean, write like Clam AV for Windows or whatever, and put a crypto miner in it. Off to the races. So I mean, there's a long history of free antivirus products doing shady things. Like I remember back in the day, Avast got in trouble for scanning networks for the shell shock. Like they would use your PC that was running Avast, and it would scan your entire subnet for shell shock devices. Like it's like hopefully they're just going to tell you about it, right? They're not going to do anything crazy. But,
so I have so many questions, and like I mean, all right. So first off, 15% is huge. Like that is like, if you look at any of the crypto mining, other software out there, like none of them are anywhere close to 15%. Like
that's why they did it, right? That has to be why they did it, because Norton can make money. It's a free or is it a free product? Is Norton 360 free?
No.
It's a paid product?
Free. Yes.
Oh my God.
All right. So second question, where are they mining to? Right? Like, are they using a pool? Yeah. Like, do they control their own pool? Like, are they
the Norton crypto pool?
Well, I mean, unless the miner is mining to a pool and it's paying them the 15%.
I was going to say they have to be running a pool.
Pool
for the fee. The easiest way without the transaction fees.
The mining software can charge a fee too, and like say it's 10% or 15%. So 15% of an hour. your miner will then mine for that other entity, right? And then that 15% of time ends and it switches back to mining for you.
Given the nature of it, I would bet it's pooled because it's like supposed to trigger on and off a lot, right? It's supposed to be like, oh, you're using your computer, turning it off. Oh, you're not using your computer, turning it on. So like, I don't think they would be able to build like a time, it's not designed as a 24/7 product, but I don't know, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't believe that it's a paid product. If it was free,
yeah.
like if it was free, if this is like, if you mine enough crypto, you can get a license for the next year for free or whatever.
Dude, you have to pay for the more expensive version to get the crypto.
All right, now so here's the other question, right? How deep does the rabbit hole go in terms of what other coins they end up mining? Because right now they only support Ethereum, which is theoretically moving to proof of stake this year. Like when proof of stake happens, what
Norton
are they gonna
coin.
do next? Are they gonna?
It's gonna be mining Norton coin when they do their ICO and it's proof of work.
And they also control. So you're mining to a wallet that they own, and then you transfer your Ethereum to Coinbase only. Apparently.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll get in cahoots with Radio Shack, and we'll be mining some Radio Shack coin with our Norton AV.
I can't wait, dude. I actually hope it's going to be Blockbuster coin, and if you mine enough, you get free video rentals.
Oh shit, that's not, dude.
Radio Shack's gonna have a coin here soon too.
That's what I just said.
Are you serious? I thought Radio Shack went out of business.
No,
dude,
they're
back.
No.
It's crypto, baby.
They're a crypto company now.
Oh, okay. That checks out, dude.
Like
Radio
100%.
and crypto, that they go right together.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what's gonna happen. Like Norton's gonna have to start mining Radio coin, Radio Shack coin.
Honestly, Radiohead could probably make a better cryptocurrency than Radio Shack.
We'll see, man.
What was that like? That name? What did it cost? Like $35 or something? Like, was that just on like an eBay listing to like buy Radio Shack name?
Yeah.
RadioShack.com.
Brand identity equals $5.
$20.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't see what you'd really use it for. I mean, they're saying they're turning it into a crypto company. I just don't know where it's going to go. Right. Like,
if anyone is actually interested in mining cryptocurrency on your home PC, use NiceHash or Unminable or whatever.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. Even NiceHash, which is one of the easiest ones. Yeah.
Also, if you're interested in antivirus, there's others.
And Defender is just fine.
Yeah. If you're gonna pay, I would say Malwarebytes, but that's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah, if it's Windows, honestly, Defender is pretty good.
It's good enough. It will also identify Norton as malware, and you'll have to. It's a PUA. You know that this crypto miner is a PUA.
Exactly. That's awesome. All right, moving on. So next up, we've got a $3 million hack on Tinyman. So Algorand's tiny hack for Tinyman. It's crazy. We think of $3 million as a tiny hack, but I mean, comparatively, it is pretty small. All right, so Algorand's DeFi platform Tinyman was exploited for $3 million beginning on the 1st of January. So starting off the year hot, guys. First day of the year, 2022. An attack was orchestrated by unauthorized users on some of Tinyman's pools by exploiting a previously unknown vulnerability in the Tinyman contracts. The exploit resulted in a drain of certain ASAs in the first hours of the attack, which led to increased volatility in the immediate aftermath. So, kind of reading through this one, one of the things that I pulled, or gathered from it at least, was that I don't think they know what happened yet. At least it sounds like it's still ongoing. They mentioned that in a series of transactions, the attacker, went on to steal $3 million, and their investigation is continuing. They also mentioned, since the contracts are permissionless, not even Tinyman team has the power to obstruct any kind of transaction on the blockchain. So as a first step, a formal announcement was made on the second day of the year, January 2nd, to all Tinyman users, recommending to pull out all their liquidity from all Tinyman related contracts. So this is kind of an interesting case where it's like, we don't exactly know what the exploit was, but it's like, okay, something's wrong, just pull it all out.
Something with the burn. There was something about the burn function in that write-up.
Mhm.
I don't know. It sounds like just an orchestrated rug pull. It's oh god, all these DeFi's, man. Like there's some good ones out there, but so many of them are just like uh like a well designed con, and then somebody else comes by and makes the same con, just slightly changes it up, and then oh, we got hacked. Oh, this happened. Oh, that happened. Right?
It's hard to
You know.
tell who to trust, especially when you
Yeah.
see like for instance, if I'm looking at something to invest in or get into, I look at how many other people are investing in it, how much volatility, how much volume is going each day, right? And if I say, oh well, there's millions in going in and out of this, it seems rather safe, but then at the end of the day, poof, there it goes. Right? So you can't take your traditional, well, there's a bunch of people using this, so it must be good, right?
It's funny too, because like a lot of these projects, it's not about like finding your like the thing you believe in, right? Like so many of these investors are like literally like 5 minute. I'm just going to see how much money I can make or whatever, and like the whole their whole like literally you can make just one transaction and try to make money, even knowing that it could possibly rug pull, like knowing the risk, not just thinking it's forever and this is the coin of my dreams, right? Or token of my dreams, and they're really going to change the world. If I can make $500 in 2 minutes, then that may be worth the risk for you. So,
right.
It's just gambling, dude. Walk into a place,
yep,
throw $500 on black.
It's gambling with insanely different odds.
True. All right. So speaking of rug pulls, we've got a couple rug pulls to talk about here. Actually, 3 in a row. We're going to talk about next. All right. So the first one is Arbix Finance, $10 million rug pull. That's that's a pretty heavy amount. Like $10 million is a lot of money. Arbix Finance labeled themselves as an arbitrage-focused project on BSC, so Binance Smart Chain project, in which users could deposit into single asset vaults in order to gain optimal yield with low risk.
Low risk? Say no more.
Say no more. I hate risk, but I love you.
Let me guess. It's no risk, but I can get 10,000% APR if I invest in this pool, right?
Oh, that's how that's what I was
Daily.
talking about with this whole minute thing or whatever. They see it and they're like, well, if I put in, $1 million, that means I could make 100 grand.
But then they go to take a, bathroom break and they're come back.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and look at the timing. So starting around 3 a.m. UTC on January 4th. So everyone's sleeping. The project drained the vaults of user funds and deleted their website, Twitter, and Telegram accounts. So, like, you go to bed at the night thinking your yield's high. You wake up the next morning, everything's gone.
Yeah,
Brutal.
They have to keep getting more elaborate too, because a lot of people are auditing the contract, so they have to do like other stuff, and that's where like the unknown hacker comes in and like all this other stuff.
Well, so they also tanked Pancake Swap down to 0.
No,
that's
token.
Their pool.
I know that's what I'm
pool
saying. That when they tried to cash out, they only got 50K out because they tanked the value.
So this is funny because exactly what we just mentioned, Ralph. Like this project was audited by CertIC.
Yep.
All right. So even though you think a project's legit, they go through the the legit like they're trying to get all their vulnerabilities figured out. They're trying to get an audit performed. That does not mean that company is going to not do something like this, right?
Well, they don't check the intent of the creator, right?
Well,
they
you can also present CertIC with a valid contract that looks legit, it's secure, blah blah blah. You get signed off on it, and then you just deploy whatever the hell you want, anyways.
That's a good point.
Who's to know?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to, did they verify their contract on Etherscan, right? Like, can you trust what was deployed? Can CertIC verify that the code that they were handed is the same? And that's why I think if you look at any of these audit reports, they always include a hash, or they include the
state of the
ABI,
contract at the time.
State of the contract at the time. Yeah, exactly. So they can always go back and say, all right, so this is the contract we actually audited. This is what was actually deployed.
I feel like CertIC should have a page that updates and checks the active contract, right? And then if it's not,
is that really their place, or I mean, certainly it hurts their brand to see something that was validated and then rug pulled, right? It hurts the brand.
Yeah,
but
I
at the
mean,
end
I
of
would
the
say
day,
it's definitely there.
It's not really their responsibility, though.
No, but it's a value add, right? If their whole,
Yeah, absolutely.
I assume their business model is we can tell you what's safe and what's not, and if they can actively say, no, this was audited on July 27th, it's already out of date, and it's a different contract running right now, so take that with a grain, right? But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't run Certic, so I don't know.
I think we talked about this before. Like we should start doing like a rug pull estimation report or something. Like like
how likely they are to rug pull.
Like this company that hired us to do the audit, they're all not doxed. Like none of them have real names. They didn't give us their real names. You know, there's definitely administrative functions that would let them you know, steal all the funds if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Just for context, in this particular rug pull, they pulled out the liquidity out of the liquidity pools from all the other tokens that wouldn't change in value. And what Corey was saying at the very end, after they did all that, the price of their token, which would be, you know, worthless, was worthless. And they sold all of it, I think, for like 50 or 50,000. So
yeah.
They wanted the tokens that were not the rug pull token. They took those first, and then after people realized it, it just tanked the price because everyone knew that, you know, all of the, you know, everything that they were trying to do was over. So, you know, the game was up.
I mean, I definitely think there is a place in the crypto space for that risk estimation. I think that's what companies like Certic and other in that space will really have as their value add is like, we can tell you how likely, you know, what is the rug pull index, 0 to 100, you know?
Yeah.
There are some sites that do allow you to take a contract ID or address and put it in the site, and it'll tell you any other contracts that are similar in code, and to show you like, hey, maybe this was cloned from PancakeSwap and then just modified a little bit as a rug. And if I get those links, I'll throw them in the chat. But
yeah, that would be one big indicator is if the code, you know, everything is just stolen from someone else. It's not an original idea.
Well, you know, you say that, but you know, there's a lot of other applications in the real world, like non-crypto world where, you know, you steal code all the time. You know, like people use what's the code site? I can't think of the name. No, not GitHub.
Stack Overflow?
Stack Overflow. Yeah, Stack Overflow. All the time. Like just, you know, what is it called? Coding by Google or coding by Stack Overflow, basically, right? And you know, there's a lot of contracts that they're deep, right? And you know, they've been around a long time, and they've, you know, had, like, for example, like Uniswap or SushiSwap, like those are, you know, contracts that have been around a long time. They have definitely had eyes on them. So you know, those actually tend to be a little bit more secure than, you know, just going and recoding the exact same thing on your own, right?
Well, I guess as an investor, I would argue, what is the value? What is the point of investing in this thing that is just copy and pasted from Uniswap?
Right.
Because if you could just invest in Uniswap with code, it's, you know, if you're talking about trying to invest in something for the short term, I guess you could say, oh, well, the benefit is this one's paying 10,000% APR per day. But like for a long haul investor, you know, there's no, what is the business model of, you know, like a fork coin? You know what I mean? It's like, what is why, if you're just copying another swap, there's already enough swaps. I don't know. That's my opinion,
I totally agree with you. Like logically, like that totally, you know,
But you are right. You can't do it for everything. You can't say like, oh, well, you reused the function for RSA. You should have rolled your own function for RSA.
Exactly.
Like, no,
right.
you know, no, you should reuse certain things, and it's safer to do so.
Yeah, the ultimate, I guess, like functionality comes down to each project, like what they're going to do with it. And what we've seen happen is people will copy code and they try to make interesting little changes, and they end up effing it up, and they end up making it worse, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen a few different stories where that's happened, where they like didn't do the math right or something. Like they wanted to change like the token number, and they didn't add a 0 in one place, and that caused like the entire thing to get drained. You know. So
there's a definite shortage of solid, secure crypto coders out there. That doesn't really exist. True. I mean, everyone, like we talk, you know, 14 billion. Don't need to go past that number.
It's
All right, so next rug pull, the year token rug pull. So token airdrops are becoming more and more popular. We've actually seen a couple in the last few months even. There was ENS token for Ethereum name service. There was SOS token. There was what else? There's a gas one, and so a lot of these have become more and more popular, where you're just getting airdropped a certain number of tokens depending on what you've done. Like for example, with the SOS one, that was like how much you've spent on OpenSea, right? Like trading NFTs. And this particular one was supposed to have something to do with like your year of activity using Ethereum. And what ended up happening is, they airdropped this year token, and people like, they see these airdrops and they're like, ooh, that's going to be awesome. I better buy some of that, right? In order to kind of ride it as it goes up in price. And so a bunch of people bought this token after it got airdropped, and then it just got rug pulled. Like they just sold everything. So
wait, you're telling me when someone calls me and says that I've won a free cruise that it's not real? I don't understand.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Airdrops
some of these
are bad.
Well, some are decent. Some are legit. Some have actual purpose.
But you got to be cynical when someone is handing you something they could sell you, right?
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. So theoretically, because all this is like public on-chain stuff anyway, it's really easy for somebody to just go grab the same code of a previous airdrop and just be like, oh yeah, we're airdropping, all the people who ever spent gas over the last year on Ethereum, whatever token, and ours is super special because of this reason, right?
How much did they get out for a year? Do we know?
I was trying to figure it out. Let's see. I was looking through this tweet.
So that was the airdrop.
30. It says draining the pool of over 30 ETH. So it wasn't terribly that much, nothing crazy, right? What is 30?
So 30 ETH for how much? 6 hours of work? Let's see, 30 times 4,000.
About $100,000.
So about $40,000 an hour. Wait.
Yeah, 100K. I mean, it's nothing like millions and millions of dollars like we've been seeing, but still, like, it's something to be aware of, right?
Well, like, for 6 hours of work, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's basically a day project someone set out and made 100K. So
yeah, it's unfortunate,
It is, but I guess I don't feel as bad for the people that were like, let's buy this brand new thing that was been out for 6 hours. Like, I don't know, dude. We're having a fire sale.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's definitely a good point.
But
so that's the whole like airdrop token thing is like there's multiple different ways you can get scammed in that arena, right? So first off, like this story, right? You got dropped some token, right? And you're like, oh well, that's cool. Maybe I should buy some more. And then you buy some more, and it gets rug pulled. Whatever. That's one thing. Another thing is a lot of the airdrop token sites require you to go actually claim them. So instead of you just like magically having it show up in your wallet, what it actually requires is you to go to a website that's controlled by somebody else, and log in with MetaMask, with your wallet ID that you want to claim those tokens with. And that provides another opportunity, right, for hackers to scam you, whether it be like a fake MetaMask pop-up. There's a lot of avenues there whenever you get directed towards somebody's website, right, to get scammed. So definitely be careful with airdrops. It's not something that if you just see like a latest airdrop and you're like, ooh, like that sounds great, just go run towards it. Like, it's definitely something to be skeptical of.
It's basically a fish.
It is. Yeah.
It's basically a fish that has a little attached $5 bill.
The two biggest ones that I've seen is like I'll get Discord notifications about like, hey, you won some contest. It's all random. Come claim the thing, and you sign in some exchange, and they're like, well, to claim this token, you have to actually deposit money. Blah blah blah. I've seen that one. I've gotten airdropped on other smart chains where like literally they'll drop everyone this token, and you'll look at your wallet and be like, wow, that's worth like 10 grand. But to actually exchange the token, you have to deposit some of some real valued token, and so on and so forth.
It's a honeypot, basically.
It's a big honeypot. Like there's a bunch. It's just like literally people sitting in a room thinking about how they can get some token. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do bug bounties instead, people.
And it's
make
the
more
same
money.
3 guys in Russia just sitting like hacking all the discords, doing all the airdrops. It's just those 3 guys in Russia, man.
They are hardworking, I will say that.
I know. Always coming up with new ideas.
And no offense to any of our Russian listeners out there. All right, so this third one, so I honestly have no idea like how much was stolen on this one, but I honestly just thought like the tweet was hilarious. So there was this Doodled Dragons NFT, and so Doodled Dragons NFT, they tweeted, after some backlash and some more research, we've decided we're going to instead make our first donation, $30,000, go to the World Wildlife Foundation later today. And then 2 minutes later, they tweeted, actually, F that. Our charity will instead now be my bank account. See you, nerds.
Sold out. That's so
like,
funny.
I mean, they're at least truthful, right? Like they're at least honest with what they're doing. So bad. Anyways, I don't know. You guys got any thoughts on that?
Hilarious.
I guess the rug pull has become a parody of itself at this point.
Yeah.
It's like we've reached, the point where it's just, hey, I'm going to do this and you're going to hate it and you're going to buy it anyway because you're that desperate.
All right.
It's like the junk food of NFTs. It's like, oh, I see that hot dog rolling in 7-Eleven. How long has it been there?
It's fresh. Buy it. Buy it.
6 a.m. It's been there a while. All right. So next story. So this one I actually think is super promising, and I'm actually really, really interested to see what comes out of this. So there was a Hacker News article this week about a tool called SAILFISH that is a new smart contract auditing tool. There was some scientific research actually done behind this one. Like there's an actual scientific paper that's getting shared at the IEEE symposium in May of this coming year. But basically, this tool aims to catch state inconsistency vulnerabilities in smart contracts that allow an attacker to tamper with the execution order of the transactions or take over the control flow within a single transaction. So basically, similar attacks to reentrancy, right, where we see somebody take over that control flow where they're circling back around again within the exact same function. So the researchers evaluated SAILFISH on 89,853 contracts obtained from Etherscan, identifying 47 zero-day flaws that could be leveraged to drain Ether and even corrupt application-specific metadata. Like, I can't wait to see the talk on this,
Right.
to see what kinds of stuff they found. Because I don't believe they've actually published the tool publicly yet. I think it's still, still in their control currently, but they have the paper out talking about it. So what do you guys think? Should be promising.
Yeah, it definitely could be useful, right? To being able to find some of this stuff. It's kind of like
it can't hurt
to scan. Yeah, right. It definitely can't hurt. I mean, even if you get some false positives.
I think if you scan that many contracts with just about any auditing tool, you're going to find 47 flaws.
That's probably true. That's
fair.
Probably true. Yeah.
They had some numbers. I was trying to find they had a comparison of it versus a few other tools.
Maybe when they say 0 day, meaning undisclosed vulnerabilities in
classes,
the sense of
the class of vulnerability.
Yeah, not necessarily like, oh yeah, everyone does this, and this was some joke contract, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they had comparison numbers, but I can't find it right now.
So since it's IEEE, is it who wrote it? Is it a company that made it? Is it free?
No, so it's I think it's just researchers. I don't think that they're with a specific organization. I have a link to their work. They're from the University of California, it looks like.
Those college kids are always doing all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. So, anyways, that'll be something to look forward to. Hopefully, we'll be talking about that in May. All right, moving on. So, this story, another NFT stolen story, right? So,
OpenSeas, man, they're just
Right,
one-
right click JPEG save. Is that what this is?
Ah, that's
2.2
an
million
amazing hack.
Bet you can't
Right.
hack me.
They looked at the source code.
yeah. So $2.2 million in Bored Apes frozen on OpenSea. So OpenSea froze approximately $2.2 million worth of Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs. A total of 15 apes and mutants were stolen. The thing that was interesting about this is this whole idea of OpenSea and like freezing of assets.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I was watching on Twitter, and I saw a lot of people really misunderstanding the concept of what's happening here. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I thought blockchain decentralized and like that you couldn't like stop you from sending stuff." Well, technically, freezing something on OpenSea doesn't mean you can't go and send it somewhere else. So the thing is that OpenSea is a marketplace, but there's other marketplaces, and technically, you don't even have to go through a marketplace. You could go straight through the contract to transfer it. So the thing is it was frozen on that marketplace site, right? Like, so they deemed it as, a stolen asset, froze it there. And, it's not like the attacker or whoever stole it couldn't just take it somewhere else and sell it.
Right. So are they more blacklisting the account, or are they actually locking the locking?
They're not allowing that contract to be sold on their site until it's either
So,
returned
yeah,
or
the
just
contract, not the
So-
contract, the asset. So
the
specific
token. Yeah.
So the
Yeah, 'cause-
contract would then block basically that
Yeah,
address.
so
Is that how
it's
that's working?
OpenSea, right? So OpenSea is blocking it, and I
Sure.
think it's just honestly, I think on the centralized side of OpenSea via their application, right? Like, so I honestly don't think it has anything to do with like any smart contracts at all. Like, I think it's just their interface, right? Like their web interface is
Okay.
preventing that asset from being sold.
So it's
It'd be
not
like
actually
trying to
frozen.
Yeah, it'd be like trying to sell like a painting on eBay, and eBay being like, you can't sell that here. You're like,
Yeah,
I still
yeah,
have
exactly.
the painting. I'll go sell it somewhere else, right? So
Exactly.
Yeah, but it is an interesting way of like, especially, I mean, at least in like the true physical goods market, if it's not sold by like a legit auction house, no one will buy it, right? If you're walking down the street and someone's like, "Would you like to buy the Mona Lisa?" You're gonna be like,
Yeah, but so that's
no.
the thing. But that's the thing with NFTs, though. You can verify where it came from. Like, so
Well,
it's
That's true, but I think it's the platform, right? It's the platform that people are on. It's the platform where people are browsing. I mean,
it's
you're
the
right.
same-
It could sell.
it's the same with eBay, right? Like, you'll make more money typically selling something on eBay than you will, on some other market that doesn't have the same amount of viewers, right? And
But
that's
also,
what
isn't
you're
the
trying to get.
value tarnished? If it is sold, let's say that I'm offering you a thing, an NFT that is, I can really send you the NFT because I can prove ownership, but I can't. You can never sell it on OpenSea because it's stolen. Doesn't that
Yeah.
tarnish the value of the NFT? Probably.
Well,
I
it
don't
makes it harder to sell, yeah.
Ask black market art dealers.
Well, we know it does. We know it does because black market art is like they actually have like task forces that like go after that and like return the art to like the rightful owner. That's like a thing. Like, but
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I would still think that even though it's stolen, that there's probably still a market for it somewhere.
for sure
know?
there is. There absolutely is, but probably not for 2.2 mil anymore.
I don't think those apes look that cool anyways, but that's just my opinion.
Well, dude, my favorite tweet was like someone responded and was like, "Hey, can you change your profile picture since you don't own it?"
Oh, that's brutal. Oh man, that's
Well, it was a fish, so sucks to suck. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
That's not nice.
It's so mean.
Right click, save as JPEG, stolen.
So
But no,
yeah,
I mean,
so back to
They
the
did
fish.
get some back. They got some
They did.
back.
They did. Yeah.
Or
Well, so
I don't. Which I wondered about. Did they return them? Like, I guess they just
no.
sent them
So
back.
what ended up happening is somebody ended up being able to buy it. I don't know if they got it off OpenSea like prior to them getting frozen, but somebody else in the Bored Ape community bought them like from OpenSea, and so they controlled. So it's like the hacker stole these assets, went to OpenSea, sold them to somebody else. Now somebody else controls a stolen asset, right? Which there's lots of things to talk about in that world anyway. But I guess they worked with the original owner to try to figure out a way to get it back. And I have no idea, like, did they buy it back for like half, or did they do anything like that? So I mean, yeah. So they ended up getting it back, but the original fish, from what I could tell, actually originated from an NFT trader link. So this is another service, right? So OpenSea doesn't have functionality currently that I'm aware of, where you can trade NFTs, right? Like, so you can sell and buy them, but I don't think you can actually like say, hey, Ralph, I want your ape, and I have this mutant or whatever, right? And we can trade. But there are other sites like NFT Trader, where you can specify certain assets and then trade them. And so this person got a malicious NFT Trader link, and that's how this all went down. All right, moving on. All right, so last story. So this isn't really a story. I just thought it was kind of interesting. So I get emails all the time about new things getting added to Immunify Bug Bounty, right? Like if you're signed up for Immunify, like they'll tell you anytime there's a new bug bounty for their platform. And I thought this one was interesting. So Tornado Cash, this is one we talk about pretty often because Tornado Cash is like one of the main mixing services for ETH. So anytime somebody steals something,
It's
they
the
usually
default
send
getaway car.
It's the default getaway car.
Getaway car, yeah.
And I was joking with Steve. I was like, all right, so if I found a vulnerability in Tornado Cash, like I'm gonna go sell it to the FBI for way more than like $1 million, like.
Yeah, you find a vulnerability in the Tornado Cash protocol that allows you to trace back mixing.
Yeah.
The
Right?
FBI would pay more.
I think it's funny too. They pay you out in Tron.
That is funny.
Yeah. It says payouts are done in Tron.
No, it's Torn. That's
Torn.
Tornado
Torn.
Cash.
Oh, sorry.
Tornado
I read
Cash.
it wrong.
It's just Tornado
I read it
Cash.
wrong.
Ralph has dyslexia.
I do. I saw that. I'm like, why is it Tron? One letter. Here we go.
They're like, we're not going to pay you in our currency.
That's what I thought was weird, but now that I'm looking at it, yeah, I can't read. So, well, that's been confirmed.
Yeah, totally.
I'll
Some other higher bidders out there, I'm sure, including nation states.
Yeah, right. I also think it's interesting. Tornado Cash is it's on IPFS. The whole site.
Yeah, so 1inch Exchange has a fully IPFS site as well.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
All right. So I think it's the last story. Steve, did you want to go through?
Oh man, it's demo time.
Demo?
Yeah, I'll do this real quick. In the Notion notes or the show notes for today, you'll notice a how-to, a walkthrough of how to do what I'm about to do. So if you want to do it on your own, you certainly can. Let me share the screen.
So just to be clear, Steve, this is a demo of how to recover your own lost wallet password.
Your own lost wallet password. That is correct.
Okay, not stolen.
So let's say in this case, I've got my Electrum wallet, right? This has about 1,000 Bitcoin in it, right? So
Holy crap.
I lost my password. I lost my password, or I forget which one I used. So how do I get back into that wallet, right? So we know there are different wallets. Here's Electrum, there's Bitcoin Core, you've got Trezor, you've got some other ones. And in the links there, I have a link to this example hashes page. And if you want to know if you can crack your wallet password with this tool called Hashcat, you can come here and search for your wallet type. So in this case, I have Electrum wallet here, and you'll see there's a couple types. There's Electrum with you'll see what this is in a second, with a $4, with a $5. So these are different wallet types, different wallet hashes. We could also look for, so here's BitShares, let's see, wallet. Stargazer Stellar wallet for XLM, MetaMask, If you lose access to your MetaMask, you can also get your hash for MetaMask and crack your way back in. So what I'm telling you to do here is if you lose your password for your wallet, you can use one of these tools. In the links there, you'll see this Bleeding Jumbo Run folder. In this folder, there are some Python scripts, and these convert, say, your wallet to a hash. With a password hash, if we guess the correct password, the hashes will match up, and then we'll know we have the right password. So in here, we're going to look for Electrum. So I'm using an Electrum wallet. So here's Electrum to John. So if I click on that, I can see the script here. I can read the source code just like you could on, like Etherscan or something. So if you wanted to see what this is really doing, you can certainly go in here and do so. I'm not going to cover that in depth today, but if you click on the raw, there's a command in the Notion notes to download this Electrum to John.py. So I have that here, Electrum to John.py on my Windows PowerShell here. I do have Python installed, so you will need Python 3. You can install that from the Windows Store. You can just type store in your Windows and then look up Python, install it that way. So once you have the Python script, you can then run right here. Let's see if I can make this bigger. You can run py. So I have py, a shortcut for Python, electrum2.tojohn.py, my wallet. So this is my encrypted wallet. And you can find your encrypted wallet when you open Electrum right here, hit choose, and it'll tell you where your wallet is. And then you can copy it to your folder. We're going to take that, we're going to run it through electrum.john, and we're going to out this to a hash file. So in that hash file, I've already done that, I have this. Go ahead and copy my screen because there's not actually 1,000 Bitcoin in this wallet. There's none. And the password is weak here anyway. So what you do is copy that to a file. We see it's in the hash.txt, default wallet, the name of the wallet. To type, here's that $4. So if we go back to the example hashes page, we can see the Electrum wallet. Type 4. So that's the type of hash we're going to use. This is the number of the mode we're going to use, 21700. So with Hashcat, Hashcat is this password cracking utility. If you go to hashcat.net, you can find it there. Download it for Windows or Linux, whatever your flavor operating system is. Clear this window. Now we can run our crack against this. So what I did in this case was I downloaded a word list called Dark Code. In the notes, I have a link to a large word list called weakpass3. So if you really don't know what your password is and you can't come up with some password guesses yourself, go ahead and use that word list. It's pretty large. It contains may even contain your password. Who knows? We have the hash file, so we'll feed it that. There's the mode. There's the hash file. It's back a directory in the crypto directory or in the demo directory. I need to move into the hashcat directory here. Move to my hashcat directory. I can then run that same command. Hash file, that's got my password hash in it. The word list I'm going to use. So if you know, like, let's say typically you use password 1234. Go ahead and put password 1234 in your word list, and you can try that here. And you can also try some variations. I'll show you real quick too. So we're going to output that to a cracked passwords file. And then we have to tell it username because of the way the hash is formatted. When you output this from Electrum to John, it includes the Electrum wallet as the username. So we're going to go ahead and hit that. Now, if I hit enter here, Hashcat is going to use my GPU. If you don't have a GPU, Hashcat can use the CPU as well. So in this case, I've got a GPU. I'm going to run it through, see how long this takes. Should just take a second. So we can see that we used our GeForce RTX 2080 Ti to do this. We use the dark code word list. Here's how many passwords are in that word list. Your total key space, how many guesses we're going to have. And then we see down here how long it ran, what the status was. It did crack. It says recovered 1 of 1. You can see example candidates down here. So we should be able to then get content of the cracked passwords file. That'll include your hash. So here's the Electrum4 hash all the way down to the password, :1. So my password on this wallet was just 1. So the longer your password
Super strong.
is, it's for the demo, obviously. But the longer your password is, the more complex it is. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll take longer, because if it's in that word list, and that word list is taken from previous compromises, right? So I could tell you right now, there's probably one of your passwords in that weak pass 3 list from somewhere back in your history. And if you want to, then maybe you don't know the exact password, but you know that what it might be. Let's say it's password 1 2 3 4 exclamation point. Bang. So we could echo password 1 2 3 4 into our word list 1.txt. So now we have password 1 2 3 4 in there. We would change the word list to word list 1. And then we can also add rules. So if we do -r, go to the rules folder, then use, say, best 64 rule. There's several rules in here you can try. And what this will do is this will take your password of password 1 2 3 4 that you fed it, and then try to mangle it. Password 1 2 3 4 5, password 1 2 3 4 @ until hopefully it gets to the one that you're trying to get to, right? So that's that. That's once you have the password cracked, you can then get into your wallet. Easy peasy, right? Doesn't take too long to set up. The notes are in there for you if you want to try this yourself. And good luck. Hopefully, if you're anything like I am, I've got several wallets I have no idea how to get back into. So this is like an ongoing progress for me.
He's still trying.
Continuously try to crack. And this also works. I know a lot of people put their wallets in like a zip file or something like that. You can also use Hashcat and the John utility, the Python, to convert that zip file. So if you've saved it in a zip file, put it somewhere safe, and forgot the password, you can do that as well.
I was gonna say this video will come in handy after I buy a landfill one day and search through it for all the USB drives and hard drives.
Hard drives, yep.
Yeah.
There's been that guy that's been looking for the hard drive with
Yeah.
10 million on it for like 10 years. He's been
Yeah.
looking for
I
it.
think it's more than 10 million, but yeah.
He's in the UK, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's 10 million.
And the thing about landfills, though, they know exactly where your trash is. They know the way it's laid out. They can tell you which neighborhood is in which section and what day it was deposited there. So, like, I know that he went to that garbage place, and I don't think they allowed him to go in, but you can go to your landfill and say, hey, I live at this address, I need to dig it. Of course, they got to excavate and all that, so you probably got to have some money up front to pay them to go do all that stuff, but and get some authority to do so. But yeah, it can be done.
Also, keep in mind, if it's depending on the storage medium, it's probably gone. That hard drive, if it's been soaked with water and rusted and corroded, is not going to be survivable.
How would that be? If you'd spend all the time to dig through a landfill just to find your rusted old hard drive, you can't get
Move
back
on.
into.
Move on, people. Seriously. 10 years is not worth $10 million of your life, I don't think.
The only life lesson there is make a backup.
I was going to say, I don't know. Tell that to the Oak Island guys, because
oh, yeah.
that's like their whole life is searching Oak Island for treasure. So,
well, that's more fun than digging through a landfill, at least.
That's true. I agree.
At least you're just like chilling in the tropics. You know what I mean?
True. It's Canada. It's a little cold, but Nova Scotia. Cool. Well, thanks for the demo, Steve. That was awesome, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
That we gotta get more demos on the show.
That goes well. We got that cool new intro. So in part of that intro, Mike says we hacked the wallets. So I had to come show how we hack the wallets. Right?
Oh yeah.
If you have specific cracking questions too, feel free to ask them. Like there are a lot of other advanced functions of Hashcat. Like you can do masks. If you know your password starts with a P, but you don't know anything about it, that can actually save you some time. There's a bunch of other. It's really password cracking is like an art more than a science. So
Yeah.
it can be fun sometimes to enumerate the possibilities. But
Steve, do you know does Hashcat have mnemonic capability yet? Like mnemonic cracking?
No, but you could use BTC Recover for that.
Yeah.
And there's also another one I have here. Let me see.
you'd be better off writing a generator, which is what I've done in the past, is you write like a Python or other script to generate the mnemonics, then you just pipe that into Hashcat, and it can mangle them however you want.
So I'm going to link this in here.
That's
put
like
it in the show notes as well.
Hashcat is designed to be, you can actually have, there's also loopback mode where it will like take the passwords that you've cracked and loop them back into the same crack. I don't know. If you got one wallet with one password, it will actually loop them back.
Yeah, that repo I linked has several different tools for getting into your wallet, right? Basically, you can run the BIP39 list, and if you know part of the list, you can feed it. If it's, let's say I remember my 12-word seed, but I only remember 10 words of it. You can feed it those 10 words, and then have it do the other two or whatever, right? So you can you can get those mnemonic passwords and stuff like that. And the Flaka repo there is a word list one. So it's just like what I did with Hashcat, except it takes private keys. It'll brute force your private key space if you know that by some chance.
Nice.
Yeah, and I assume these tools probably have standard out mode, and then you could just pipe that straight into Hashcat if you wanted to.
Yeah, sure.
Just for that GPU support, because I don't think that guy would have coded.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it has
GPU support.
Yeah, some of them do. Not all the projects in there do, but most of them do. That's why I like it.
The other thing to do is to make sure that your cracking technique is valid. So generate, like Steve was mentioning, a zip file. If you're dealing with a wallet that's not 100%, generate a weak passphrase just like Steve did, and then attempt your crack and make sure it cracks. Because since it's crypto, you can get into a lot of scenarios where like it would never crack because the hash format is mangled or something like that.
I always test a wallet with a known password, right?
Make sure you can crack the password when it's 1.
That's a good tip.
Cool. So, guys, I think we have an announcement kind of for next week. We got another guest. We got another guest coming on next week, guys.
All right. Who is it?
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to know who it is.
I'm excited too. We've got the one and only Jack Reissider from Darknet Diaries coming on next week.
Nice.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be awesome. I'm stoked to talk to him about crypto and all things.
Other than the Darknet Diaries, he's been really into the crypto scene lately, so that'll be fun. He does have some good insights that I've seen, so
there were a few
be a fun show. We'll have to
episodes.
pull out something special on the demo side for him as well.
Let's hack his crypto wallet. Wait, no.
Yeah. If you send us 0.1 ETH, Jack, we'll send you back 1.
Let's disclose. Let's airdrop him. We got him.
Steve's just already planning the scheme and the scam.
Steve, no hacking the guests. Let me just lay down that ground rule. No hacking, Steve.
That's the one rule.
Well,
so make sure to come join us.
Yeah.
Next Friday, January 14th. We'll be here again at 1 p.m. Eastern to talk to Jack, and follow us on Twitter, CoinSec Podcast, and give us that subscribe on YouTube. We always appreciate it. And we
slap
will
like.
Smash the like button. Gotta say it like that, right? Show notes are on the website, CoinSecPodcast.com. Until next week, guys, we will if you want to have any questions for Jack or anything, send them our way in Discord or whatever, and we'll try to add some in. So yeah, all right, guys. Awesome. Well, with that, I'm gonna end the show for this week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will we will catch you next week. Oh, Ryan's asking what Discord. So in the let's do. What do you think, Steve? Do you think we should do it in in your Discord or in the no Black Hills Discord?
We should probably either the Black Hills or make a new one.
Or just tweet
Or
at
tweet
the
us
CoinSec Podcast.
until we
that's
have
good. Yeah,
such
yeah.
a medium ready. We have Discords
let's make
all
our
over
own.
the place, but none.
Let's make our own. Let's make a CoinSec. I'm saying we're gonna make a CoinSec Podcast Discord. Gonna happen.
Let's make a CoinSec Podcast airdrop. Wait, no, too soon.
Too soon.
CoinSec Podcast coin.
Yep.
And you get like the more likes that you've done on videos, the more coins you get.
Ooh.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Oh, no.
The more watch time you have.
Oh,
How
snap.
can we buy your loyalty?
Yeah, don't watch because you
Exactly.
like the show. It's an investment.
It's an investment. I watch as an investment.
And when we start getting like phone farms, like people got like the farms of just like videos.
Likes, yeah, it's like buying likes on Facebook or whatever, the most
Yeah.
spammy accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right, guys.
Beautiful.
Let's wrap it up. We'll catch you guys next week. See you on the 14th.
Yep. Later, guys.
Bye.